Hey guys, RJ Nick here, and I just wanted to make this quick video to show you that, yes, torches do spawn naturally in the world. Actually, not even spawn, they grow. RGA Nick here, and you're watching the RGA Minecraft channel.
Don't you have any extra nanite doses?
Over and over and over again. The entire thing is going up in flames. Let's find out. As you can see, that was just a solid scene, and I did absolutely nothing here. There's nothing around here, but as you saw, that torch actually grew up from the ground. It's actually something really simple to do, and it's really not that complicated. And I'll kind of show you guys what happens and how this is able to work. So if I dig down here, you'll notice that there's two things here. You see this coal block, and you see this log on top of it. Now, those are the two pieces together that create the torch seed. So when I plant those underground, there's really nothing more to it. Just find a coal block, and then put a log on it, and then eventually torches will start growing on top of it. And like you can see just here, there's really nothing else in here. There's no little hidden mechanics or anything like that either. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So everyone who kind of said that torches don't grow wildly in Minecraft, well, yes, they do. It grew right there. You guys kind of watched it happen. So, I don't really know what else I can say, but, I've recorded it. And I think maybe, I don't know, maybe that's little bunny rabbit over there believes me. Because, like I said, there's nothing here. There's no little mechanisms or anything around here. It's just a random field where I planted the torch seed. And that's pretty much it. So, yeah, I mean, do you believe me, Mr. Rabbit? Yes. See, look at that. He even shook his head yes, that I believe you. And I don't know, I just want to make this video for a while because my other video, everyone just keeps commenting like, oh, torches don't grow wildly and stuff like that. And I just want to show you guys that they do. And I wanted to show you a little bit more about how it happens as well. So, thanks for watching.
I just wanted to take a few minutes just to give you some money.
Alright, hold on a second. I know you guys don't really believe all that. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how this actually works. Let me go back into Creative, and I'll show you exactly what's going on here. So, there is a little bit of trickery going on here. But when I said that having these blocks down here, whoops, it's over here, having the coal block and the wood block there will cause it to make the torches, that's actually not a lie. So if I break this out completely, I'll show you a little bit about what's going on. So around here, there's really nothing at all that you guys can see. And I wanted it that way because I didn't want it just to be out in the open about what I'm doing. So I mean, everything looks pretty much normal as far as you can see. And I put in a little bit of a fail-safe into this device. So I wasn't sure how in-depth I was going to get into this video. But basically what it does is I've got some command blocks set up to check to make sure this is a coal block and this is a wood block. What I was going to originally do was take out this block and show that, oh, look at that, torches aren't spawning anymore. But I didn't want the torches to spawn too quickly. So that's why I ended up just waiting for the single torch to appear. But technically, if I would have removed either of these two blocks, then the torch up here would never be placed. So let me show you how this works. So one more block down here, and we find ourselves into a little pit here. And this is where the real fun happens here. So basically, this block here is responsible for putting a torch all the way up here. So if I power it on just this block here, it's going to put a torch up here. So let me grab a button. And here we go. Let's throw this on here. Oops. So if I right click on that, then come up here and look at that. There's a torch there. Cool. Like I said, originally I was going to have this on just like a quick timer. And I was going to come down here and break one of these and say, oh, look at that, it's not placing the torch anymore because the torches can't grow without the wood and coal. It makes, a huge troll out of it. Didn't really feel like doing that. But I did have the mechanics already built in. So this one here actually goes and checks to see if this block here is a log, which it is, And this block here goes and is used later on. So I'll tell you more about that later on. Actually, so the coal, I never put the check in for that. I started building it out. I started building the log checker, and I put that in there, and I was going to like check for coal, and I'm like, you know what, this is taking too much time. I'm not even going to have that much time to actually go ahead and, you know, show this off enough to break those blocks or anything like that. So I did it just for the log. But needless to say, all it is a redstone clock over here that constantly powers these two little melon detectors. And by melon detectors, I literally mean it checks to see if a melon block grows on this spot here. And the problem I was having, I spent the last hour trying to record this video, and originally I started off with one melon detector, and it would grow, and then it wouldn't grow again. So then I put in 2 melon detectors. I'm like, okay, so out of these 6 plants, one of them has to grow at a relatively decent speed. I mean, at least that's what I thought, but I just could not get the timing down. So I was like, all right, I could build a few more of these, and then finally when I was recording, I actually got it to grow in front of me. So what happens is when this becomes a melon here, it sends a signal out here which deletes the melon, so it sets the block here back to air, which resets this for another torch to grow. And then it sends a signal this way, which first goes and checks to see, you know, is that a piece of wood? And if it is, then it creates the torch. Also, I have 2 delayed blocks here, which sets the block here, which is the coal block, I believe. Let me see. Nope, it's the log. It actually deletes the log, and then another second later, this block here puts the log back. Now, for those of you who don't know much about command blocks, I'll show you why I have that doing that. So let me grab some redstone and a redstone repeater, and I'll show you what happens if I take those out of there. So if I just break this and break this, then place a melon here, you'll see that it sends a signal out, deletes the melon, and now we come up here and we'll see that, hey, there's a torch there. Awesome. So now we come back down here. You know, if we're waiting and another melon comes, you can see it sent the signal out, and we go back up here and no torch. So what happened differently? Well, here's the thing about command blocks. Right now, this little block here, the comparator, is basically reading the output of the command block. So when a command block gets a signal in, it runs its command, and then if it's successful, it puts out a small redstone current, which you can then pull from the comparator and then use. So when the first melon got placed, it sent a signal here, it successfully found the log, so it's like, okay, there's a log there, let me send out the signal. So it sends out the signal, turns this one on, which makes the torch. Well, that's great. But the bad thing about command blocks is it doesn't automatically turn back off. I mean, it's bad and it's good depending on what your application is. So right now, even if I were to go back up here and break the log, it's still on. Because the last time it ran, it found it, so it's constantly saying, okay, it's there. It's putting out the signal because it found it. Now that the block is deleted, if I run this again and put another melon here, then it's going to shut off because there's no log there. So that's part of the problem. So initially, if you don't put that check in there, then what's going to happen is the first time it runs, it's always going to stay on and it's never going to run again. So to get around that, I basically put these 2 blocks in here that goes ahead and deletes the little log block that was there and then puts it right back. Because it actually sends the signal back through it. So the initial signal comes in, tells it to check for the log, log's there, puts the torch. And then, you know, half second or a second later, this command block gets ran that sets the log to air, and then it sends out a second signal to rerun this one. It detects that there's no block there and shuts off. So now if I put this here, you'll see the first signal comes across and then the second signal comes out almost right after, and then it shuts off because there is no block there. And then, you know, a second after this signal gets sent out, this one here is reached and it puts the log back. So when all those pieces are in there together, whether I put it at the front one or this back one there, the signal gets sent out. You can see it turned off for like a brief millisecond or whatever it is there, a little bit longer than that. But now our torch is back there, so I could harvest it. And if this thing worked properly, if I put in different timers, maybe something that was a little more constant, then we could sit up there and be like, oh, look at that, the torch grew back. So you saw there, the log was gone for a second, it's back. And that's basically how this works. So a little complicated. Sorry that this is a longer video, but I just wanted to make this to show you guys that no, torches do not grow in Minecraft unless you put in something like this, which is the Torch Grower 2000. In which case, if I would have put in the second block, I could have checked for the coal. But the only problem is, if I were to move those over, it's not going to work at all, because these are all, you know, with their set inputs and stuff. They're only looking at those blocks there. So it's not really scalable or anything like that. I just did it more of a kind of explain how some of this stuff works. It's very basic, but it's kind of cool to get into this stuff as well. So yes, torches do not actually grow, and you know, I'm sorry if you watch the first couple minutes and you're like, ah, I knew it, I knew they grew, but they don't. They do spawn naturally when the world is generated in certain areas. They can spawn in villages, like inside their homes, as well as in underground railroads and stuff like that. So they do occur naturally, but they don't grow, like I said, unless you've got a growing machine. So if one of those melons were to grow down there right now, then you would see the torch appear up here. But like I said, it's based on the growth speed of the melon, and I've had some very, very, very bad luck with getting that to time up correctly. So we'll finish this video off by putting that there. Let me know if you guys want to see more videos like this, and I will see you in the future. Thanks for watching.
I just wanted to take a few minutes just to give you some mining safety tips. For those of you who
doing dungeons on this server. This portal area has portals for any of the tier 1 dungeons